Good morning, students. In the last lecture, I explained multiplication theorem of probability, and I already proved that probability of occurrence of one event affects the occurrence of the second one, third one, and so on. And also, it is without replacement, and also known as dependent events. That means occurrence of one events affects the occurrence of other one. So today, now I am going to explain independent events. The multiplication theorem probability. From there we get dependent events, and now I am going to explain independent events. Similarly, this can be explained with the help of a suitable examples. So look at here. Consider an experiment of drawing a card from a deck of 52 playing cards. We have 52 playing cards, okay, and just draw a card there. Where the events are assumed to be equally likely. The events are assumed to be equally likely means, so there are 52 cards in the deck of 52 playing cards. Suppose probability of getting 10 of spade, so there is only one 10 of spade, so that is 1 by 52. Similarly, ace of diamond, also 1 by 52. Okay, so that is why we say the events are assumed to be equally likely. Got it? Let E and F are events. E, the event the card drawn is a spade, and F is the event the card drawn is an S. Again, I am repeating the same things. Consider an experiment drawing a card from a deck of 52 cards where the events are assumed to be equally likely. मैं आपको बताया हूं और एक बार एग्जांपल दे रहा हूं. Drawing a spade, 10 of spade, so that is 1 by 52. Drawing a king of diamond, so there is only one king in diamond. Okay, so right, students, so 1 by 52. So that is why we say the events are assumed to be equally likely. Here we are taking two events. One is E, another is F. E, the card drawn is a spade. So there are how many spade in a deck of 52 playing cards? 13. So probability of getting E is 13 by 52 because there are the favorable condition is there are 13 spade in a deck of 52 cards. So it is 13 by 52. That means 1 by 4. If the event the card drawn is an S. So students, okay, in the deck of 52 playing cards, there are four categories: spade, club, diamond, and heart, right? And each are 13, and 13. And aces each has one S. So there are 4 S. Okay, so there are 4 S. So here F is the event. The card drawn is an S. So card drawn is an S means it is favorable condition is 4 by 52. I am explained here. So probability of E, that means the card drawn is a spade, is 1 by 4, while the probability of the card drawn is an S is 4 by 52. Got it? Now, again we are going to find the probability of E and F. That is, E and F is the event that the card drawn is the ace of a spade. So you know that there is one ace in spade. So that is why you take intersection here. E intersection F means the card is a spade and the second is what? The card drawn is an ace. That implies the card drawn is the ace of spade. Okay, the card drawn is ace of spade. स्पेड के अंदर जो एस है, एक्चुअली देयर आर 4 एस इन द डेक ऑफ 52 कार्ड्स, बट it is an event E and F That means the set E intersection F is what? Is the event that the card drawn is the ace of a spade. Ace of a spade. So it is only one ace in spade. So that is, it is 1 by 52. Clear? So using conditional probability, the of probability of E given that F has occurred is what? Probability of E intersection F by probability of F. So what is the probability of E intersection F? Already get here 1 by 52, and probability of F is 1 by 13. So it is what? By solving, it is 1 by 4. Yani the probability of conditional probability of E given that F has already occurred is 1 by 4. Right? So students, first look at here. Probability of getting a spade from a deck of 52 card is 1 by 4. Again, probability, the conditional probability of E given that F has occurred is what? It is 1 by 4. From 1 and 2, 3, what you get? It is 1 by 4 and 1 by 4. That means LHS are equal. That means what you get here? From 1 and 3, we get probability of E equal to probability of E by F. We get probability of E equal to probability of E by F. That implies, what is the meaning of this? Combining 1 and 3. The occurrence of event F has not affected the probability of occurrence of the event E. ये जो हमें कंक्लूजन मिला कि probability of E equal to probability of E by F, इनमें से हमें क्या बनाए? The occurrence of event F. F का occurrence होना इफेक्ट नहीं डालता for getting the probability of occurrence of E. Right? Because F has happened first, then E, we are going to find the probability of E. So इसमें से हमें क्या मिला? The occurrence of event F has not affected the probability of the occurrence of the event E. But in the multiplication rule of probability, the occurrence of second event, the occurrence of first event affects while we getting the probability of the occurrence of the second event. Again मैं repeat कर रहा हूँ, in the multiplication rule of probability, we concluded that the occurrence of the first event affects while finding the probability of occurrence of the second event. और मैंने एग्जाम्पल भी दिया था कल, 2 एग्जाम्पल आपके सामने दिया था, ओके, बताया था. तो इसमें बट इन दिस केसेस द ऑकरेंस ऑफ इवेंट एफ, बिकॉज एफ पहले हो चुका है, हमें वी आर गोइंग टू फाइंड द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ ई. तो व्हाट यू गेट? 1 by 4. सो द ऑकरेंस ऑफ इवेंट एफ हैज नॉट अफेक्टेड द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ ऑकरेंस ऑफ द इवेंट ई. Similarly, probability, the conditional probability of F given that E has occurred is what? Probability of E intersection F by probability of E. That is what? By calculating you get 1 by 13. Now go to second equation. Probability of F means the card drawn is an S is what? 1 by 13. And here what you get? What you get here? The conditional probability of F given that E has occurred is 1 by 13. So from 2 and 6, look at here, from 2 and 6, from 2, this is 2 and this is 6. What you get? We get here RHS are equal, so LHS must be equal. That means probability of F equal to probability of F by E. Similarly, we conclude same things, the occurrence of event E does not affect the occurrence of event F. Okay, but in multiplication theorem of probability, the occurrence of the first event affects the occurrence of a second event. So that is why multiplication rule of probability gives the conclusion that without replacement and they are what? Dependent events. एक दूसरे के ऊपर वो डिपेंड करते हैं, बट हियर हमें क्या मिला कि दे आर इंडिपेंडेंट इवेंट. मीन्स एक वर्ड वी डिराइव्ड हियर, इंडिपेंडेंट इवेंट्स. हमें यहां पर मिला कि ये इंडिपेंडेंट इवेंट्स है. ओके, सो 5 एंड 6, 8 को लेके 5 एंड 8, 5 में क्या दिया गया, द occurrence of event F has not affected the probability of occurrence of event E, and 8 get that occurrence of E does not affect occurrence of the event F. यानी यहां पर 5 में F अफेक्ट नहीं करता जब आप E का प्रोबेबिलिटी निकालते हो, एंड 8 से हमें क्या मिला, E अफेक्ट नहीं करता व्हेन आप F का प्रोबेबिलिटी निकालते हो. सो इन 5 एंड 8 में से हमें क्या कंक्लूजन में मिला कि E एंड F आर द इवेंट्स सच दैट E एंड F ऐसे ही दो इवेंट है कि द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ ऑकरेंस ऑफ वन ऑफ देम इज नॉट अफेक्टेड बाय द ऑकरेंस ऑफ अदर. So in multiplication rule of probability, theorem of probability, in multiplication rule of probability, the occurrence of one event affects the occurrence of the second one, the third one, and so on. But here in 5 and 8 we get that occurrence of one event does not affect the occurrence of other one. So this is the difference between multiplication rule of probability, that means they are dependent events. Here these events are independent events. Their occurrence of a first event affects the occurrence of the probability of getting the second one, but here just opposite. They are what, independent events, and occurrence of first one does not affect the occurrence of the second one. Okay, so from these examples we get the definition that two events E and F are said to be independent events. दो इवेंट E and F को हमें इंडिपेंडेंट इवेंट कहेंगे. कब कहेंगे? प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ F बाई E इज इक्वल टू प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ F. देखिए हमें यहां पर मिला है प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ F बाई E इक्वल टू प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ F 7 से मिला. ओके, फ्रॉम 7, और यहां पर हमारा 4 से क्या मिला, मैं लिख लेता हूं, फ्रॉम 7 and from 4 what you get, from 7 we get probability of F by E is equal to probability of F, while from 4 we get probability of E by F equal to probability of E, provided that probability of E and probability of F are non-zero probabilities positively. Okay, so ये definition मिला हमें. फिर बेटे मैं बता रहा हूं अगेन, हमें जस्ट कंपेयर करते हैं मल्टीप्लिकेशन रूल ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी से. मल्टीप्लिकेशन रूल प्रोबेबिलिटी कहता था प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ E इंटरसेक्शन F इक्वल टू प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ E मल्टीप्लाई प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ F बाई E. राइट स्टूडेंट्स, बट यहां पर जो इंडिपेंडेंट इवेंट्स हमें क्या मिला, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ F बाई E किसके साथ इक्वल हो रहा है, प्रोबेबिलिटी F के साथ. मैं और एक बार इसी कंसेप्ट को क्लियर कर रहा हूं. मल्टीप्लिकेशन रूल ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी कहता था कि प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ E इंटरसेक्शन F इक्वल टू प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ E मल्टीप्लाई प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ F बाई E. ओके, बट वी कंक्लूडेड दैट E and F are independent events, and from 7 we already get that probability of F by E equal to probability of F. So जो प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ F बाई E के ऊपर हमें क्या नोट कर सकते हैं, अब प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ F. So that implies if E and F are independent, so what you get, probability of E intersection F equal to probability of E multiply probability of F. ये दोनों, this is the what, they are independent events. So definition, actual definition of independent events are, let E and F be two events associated with the sample same random experiment. E and F कोई दो इवेंट्स होते हैं, सेम एक रैंडम एक्सपेरिमेंट से बिलोंग करते हैं. लेट E and F be two events associated with the same random experiment. Then E and F are said to be independent. E and F को हम इंडिपेंडेंट कब कहेंगे, जब probability of E intersection F equal to probability of E multiply probability of F. and मैंने इसको प्रूव किया from giving a suitable examples. Okay students, then just opposite इसके क्या है, two events E and F are said to be dependent. That means multiplication rule of probability say पॉजिटिवली हमें मिलते हैं, बिकॉज हियर आई जस्ट कंपेयरिंग multiplication rule of probability means dependent event without replacement, and here with what dependent events, independent events. और एक बार मैं रिपीट कर रहा हूं, मैं अभी कंपेयर कर दिया दोनों को मल्टीप्लीकेशन रूल ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी और इंडिपेंडेंट इवेंट्स में. मल्टीप्लीकेशन रूल ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी मींस डिपेंडेंट इवेंट्स और इंडिपेंडेंट इवेंट्स के बीच में कंपेयर किया. उनमें से हमें क्या मिला कि E and F be two events associated with the same random experiment, then E and F are said to be independent if probability of E intersection F equal to probability of E multiply probability of F. Right students? So they are independent events. They are independent events और मैंने प्रूव किया पहले से. So इसका अपोजिट में two events E and F are said to be dependent if they are not independent. तो क्या होगा? पॉजिटिवली प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ E इंटरसेक्शन F is not equal to probability of E multiply probability of F. Okay students, so I think you must understood here the concept here. Okay, now I am going to compare dependent events and independent events with some important points. Yes students, this is the short form of multiplication theorem of probability. I already explained in the lectures, previous lectures, multiplication rule of probability, that means dependent events. Okay, and then independent also explained just before regarding independent events. Okay, so now some short form, how you remember this multiplication theorem of probability. Multiplication theorem of probability, a word came simultaneous occurrence of events. Okay, that means occurrence of events at same time, occurrence of events at the same time. जो simultaneous occurrence है, that means same times में occurrence होगा. Then they are divided into two events. One is dependent events, another is independent events. This is independent events and this is dependent events. Right? So dependent events, probability of A1, A2, A3 up to AN. That means A1 intersection A2 intersection A3 of this. What you get here? We write here probability of A1 into probability of A2 by A1. That means the probability of occurrence of A2 affects what? That means probability of occurrence of A1 affects while probability of occurrence of event A2. Similarly so on. A3 का probability आना, तो A1 और A2 का probability किसको अफेक्ट करते हैं? A3 को अफेक्ट करते हैं, इवेंट्स को. ओके, सो दिस आर द फॉर्मूलाज. दैट मीन्स विदाउट रिप्लेसमेंट. इसका मतलब क्या है? विदाउट रिप्लेसमेंट. एंड दे आर ऑल्सो म्यूचुअली एक्सक्लूसिव. म्यूचुअली एक्सक्लूसिव मीन्स two events are said to be mutually exclusive if they do not have any what common element. That means E intersection F is always what? 0, 5 null set होते हैं. ठीक है, E intersection F यानी E and F के बीच में कोई common element नहीं होगा. Occurrence of one event affects the occurrence of second one. जैसे मैंने अभी बताया था आपको, A1 अफेक्ट करता है while occurrence of A2. A1 A2 दोनों अफेक्ट करते हैं while the probability of occurrence of A3 and so on. They are dependent events. तो इसीलिए ये डिपेंडेंट है. Probability of E intersection F never be equal to probability of E multiply probability of F. Never have common outcomes. Common outcomes नहीं है. और एक बार मैं रिपीट कर रहा हूं, मल्टीप्लीकेशन थ्योरम ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी को हमें साइमल्टेनियस occurrence of events नाम दिए. That means occurrence of events at the same time. They are two types: dependent event, independent event. Dependent event का probability क्या होता है? Probability of A1 intersection A2, A3 up to intersection AN. तो क्या होगा? Probability of A1, probability of यानी A1 affects A2, A1, A2 both affects probability of occurrence of A3 and so on without replacement. Okay. Second one is विदाउट रिप्लेसमेंट. बेटे पॉजिटिवली क्या होता है, पॉजिटिवली अफेक्ट करेगा. जब सेकंड का प्रोबेबिलिटी निकालोगे तो फर्स्ट अफेक्ट करता है सेकंड को. म्यूचुअल एक्सक्लूसिव. ऑकरेंस ऑफ वन इवेंट अफेक्ट्स द ऑकरेंस ऑफ द सेकंड, थर्ड एंड सो ऑन. ये डिपेंडेंट इवेंट्स होते हैं. और क्या होते हैं, ई इंटरसेक्शन एफ का प्रोबेबिलिटी नेवर बी इक्वल टू प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ ई मल्टीप्लाई प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एफ एंड नेवर हैव कॉमन आउटकम्स. कम टू इंडिपेंडेंट इवेंट्स. प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ कैसे होगा यहां पर, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ A1, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ A1 इंटरसेक्शन A2 इंटरसेक्शन A3 अप टू इंटरसेक्शन AN क्या होता है, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ A1, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ A2, प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ A3 अप टू प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ A1 मल्टीप्लाई प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ A2 मल्टीप्लाई प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ A3 मल्टीप्लाई अप टू सो ऑन मल्टीप्लाई प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ AN. ये रिप्लेसमेंट में होते हैं. यानी फर्स्ट इवेंट डज नॉट अफेक्ट द occurrence of the probability of the second events, third events and so on. So two independent events having non-zero probability. कोई दो इंडिपेंडेंट इवेंट्स जिनका प्रोबेबिलिटी होगा यानी उनका जीरो प्रोबेबिलिटी नहीं होगा ऑफ ऑकरेंस कैन नॉट बी म्यूचुअल एक्सक्लूसिव. वो कभी भी क्या नहीं होंगे, म्यूचुअल एक्सक्लूसिव नहीं होंगे. ओके. ई इंटरसेक्शन एफ का प्रोबेबिलिटी होता है प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ ई मल्टीप्लाई प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ एफ provided that probability of E and probability of F not equal to 0. Occurrence of one event does not affect the occurrence of the second, third, fourth and so on. Are independent. May have common outcomes. यहाँ पर क्या था, never have common outcomes. यहाँ पर common outcomes हो सकते हैं. Right? So एक example के जरिए मैं आपको समझा रहा हूँ. A die is thrown. E is the a die is thrown means sample space is, sample space कितना होगा, S is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. E be the event that the number appearing is a multiple of 3. Multiple of 3. So what are the multiple of 3 here? 3 and 6. F be the event, the number appearing is even. So what is even number here? 2, 4 and 6. Right students? So और एक बार मैं बता रहा हूं, a die is thrown, that means there are 6 what outcomes are here. E is the event number appearing multiple of 3. So 3 and 6 are the multiple of 3 here. If E be the event, the number appearing is even. That means 2, 4, 6 are the even numbers. So E intersection, what is axing, find whether E and F are independent. That means positively we find E intersection F here. So what is E intersection F? E intersection F is here, what is 6. So probability of finding E, event E is equal to 2 by 6, that means 1 by 3, and probability of finding F is equal to 3 by 6, right, that is 1 by 2. And probability of finding E intersection F is equal to what, 1 by 6. So probability of E multiply probability of F is equal to what, 1 by 3 multiply 1 by 2, that means 1 by 6. So this is 1 and this is what, 2. So from 1 and 2 what you get, probability of E intersection F equal to probability of E and probability of E multiply probability of F we get here. So no, they are non-zero, they have the non-zero probabilities. So probability of E net not be equal to 0 and also probability of F not be equal to 0, not be equal to 0, also not be equal to 0. So that implies E and F are independent events. Another examples, a bag contains 4 red ball, 5 white ball and 3 black ball. A bag contains 4 red, 5 white and 3 red. What is the probability? Find the probability that getting 3 red balls. Okay, here no term is given without replacement. That means if it is not given without replacement, you mean that it is replacement. Okay, so probability of getting here R1, R2 and R3 is what? Probability of R1 multiply probability of R2 multiply probability of R3. Here in this question, the term without replacement is not what used here. That means you mean that they are independent events. The probability of getting first red ball does not affect the second one or also the third one. So that implies what is the probability of getting R1 here? That means 4 by it is 12. Second one is, that means it is replaced. It is what? Replaced. इट इज रिप्लेसमेंट है इसमें इसमें रिप्लेसमेंट है इसमें रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं है विदाउट रिप्लेसमेंट तो ये रिप्लेसमेंट है क्योंकि वर्ड विदाउट रिप्लेसमेंट इज नॉट यूज्ड हियर सो probability of R1 probability of R2 probability of R3 R1 4 by 12 4 by 12 also 4 by 12 and simplifying it is 1 by 3 1 by 3 so it is 1 by 27. So this is the required answer. So students, I think you understood the concept of multiplication theorem of probability. Thank you.